D, and I'm back again. How are we all? I hope you're keeping well. So, as you can see by the title, this one's about the first and most important step of self-improvement. Now, I know what you're asking. Come on, King D, what is it? Well, I'll tell you. Forgive yourself. Did you hear me from over there? I said forgive yourself, and you should. And I'll explain why, shall I? So, I know what most of you are thinking, that the first step of self-improvement is just taking the first step, moving forward, doing something, instead of being trapped in that comfort zone of yours, which most people are nowadays. It's the world we live in. It's why everyone's miserable. So, stepping outside that comfort zone, yeah, it's one of the first steps. And it can be the first step. It depends which way you look at it. In my eyes, not really, because there is something else you need to do before that, before you make a start. So, say you take your first step. You think, right, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to start lifting some weights. I'll get some dumbbells at home. I'm not ready for the gym yet. I'm just going to lift some weights at home, see how I get on. So the weights arrive, your dumbbells arrive, and you start lifting. You could call that your first step, right? Or whatever area it is that you're working on. I mean, maybe your physique's bang on. Maybe you look like me. No, I'm joking with that one. I have let myself go a little bit, but I'm coming back. I know what you're asking. Come on, King D, get on with it. Stop stalling. What is it? Well, I'm trying to get as much screen time as I can. No, I'm kidding. I want to tell you. I'll tell you now. It's forgive yourself. Big time. Now, the issue is, if you don't forgive yourself before you even start, then you're going to run into trouble. And as soon as you hit that first hurdle, you're going to turn it in on yourself, and you're going to think, okay, now I'm useless, I'm this, I'm that. Look at everything in my past. I'll just mess everything up. And you attack yourself, basically. You're bullying yourself. You really need to forgive yourself for anything that's happened prior to today. Because the only way you're going to deal with the present and be in the present and figure out your future and work on your future is getting out of the past. You don't live there anymore. That's gone. The only time you want to be looking on the past is reminiscing on good times. That's nice. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you need that. And to see how far you've come and the lessons that you've learned as well. Other than that, don't look back with regret or anything like that, because it's done. You can't change it. Part of the stoicism is, if you can't change it, then why pay attention to it? Why invest any sort of energy into it? Because it's not helping, is it? Getting emotional about it is not going to change it. So keep that in your head. Or your ear. So, I know what you're asking now. How do I forgive myself? Good question. You forgive yourself by understanding that you are human. You are human. We all are. And as a human, we all make mistakes. Yes, we do. It's how we learn, it's how we grow. We have to make mistakes. It's inevitable. So don't go beating yourself up about it. Just learn from it. And say you're doing the whole self-improvement and you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you see. And maybe there's been years prior to right now that you've wasted. You've been playing video games, you've been scrolling on your phone, you've been watching Netflix. You've been doing all these things that aren't good for you. And you haven't been building yourself, your money, your looks, your muscles, your mental strength, your friendship groups, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. What matters is say you haven't been doing them things and you've been wasting your life, what you're doing now, because that's what counts. Now is what matters, not before, what you were doing before, because you can look at that and think, right, I've wasted all them years. Well, there's a reason why you wasted them years. One thing I know for me is I didn't know any better. You just think, oh, motivation will come at some point and I can really crack on and do things I want to do in life, and you're just waiting for that motivation to arrive. Well, motivation don't work like that, does it? Not one bit. And it's all about discipline over motivation all day long. That's another video in itself, so we'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. So if you don't know anything about discipline, which I didn't have a clue, not a clue. I know it sounds, to some of you, you might think, what do you mean you didn't know anything about discipline? I didn't. And then, you know, adopting bad habits and then wondering why I'm wasting my life and why I'm not going anywhere in life. It was news to me. And, you know, learning about things like watching YouTube videos and looking into myself and what I'm capable of and what would make my life better, and really having to sit down and have a word with myself and having a good think. All these things, you know, reading books that are going to help motivate me and make me a better man, give me the tools and the knowledge to be better. Well, it's all right building all these things, you see. Well, I didn't have those things from day one. I was clueless. So unless you know, then you don't know, and you can only do and work with what you've got. So if you haven't got that knowledge, then what are you supposed to do? Just figure it out yourself like that? It doesn't work that way, does it? So don't beat yourself up. So if you've been a waste of space, if that's what you're calling yourself, wish you need to stop calling yourself if you're doing that, because you're not. You just need some direction, you need some guidance, that's it. And we all do. Again, we're all human. Everyone needs some sort of guidance, just putting in the right direction. Maybe that's all you need. And if you've not gone anywhere, say there has been years go by where you haven't gotten anywhere, why are you worrying about it? You've got this awareness now, right now, so make a start, make a change now. But before you do, really, really forgive yourself. I really mean that. Have some self-compassion. Look at yourself as a stranger, right? If it was a stranger who his life's been a bit shit and he's not going anywhere in life, he's had nobody to really pick him up and say, right, this is how it's done. Would you blame that guy? No. So why are you blaming yourself? Stop it. It's not good for you. It's not doing you any favours whatsoever. So understand, you're human. You can only work with what you've got and what you know. So you didn't know any better. Now you do. So whatever idea you had of yourself before today, it stops now. If it's negative, it stops now. Because today's a new day. Now you have more insight, more knowledge than you did before. Now you can start making things work. And now you're focusing on the moment, the present, and then you can focus on your future. How's your future going to act? Well, it all depends on how you're performing in your present. And it has nothing to do with your past anymore. It's gone. Your past has led you to the present. And the present, now you've got a mind now, you understand how things are working. You're listening to old King D, you getting some good advice. Now you can do something with it, can't you? Yeah. But you can't if you're going to beat yourself up over it. So at some point in self-improvement, and anyone will tell you this, you're going to hit hurdles. You're going to have hard times. There's going to be points when you want to give up, because sometimes it's a lonely road, self-improvement. It is, because you're working on you. You've got to fix this. Inside, outside, all areas of you need to work on. And it's horrible. And a part of your brain's going, now I want to watch Netflix and I want to rub one out and I want to kill some brain cells on my phone and just do easy shit. It's very hard to do the hard things. But if you have a very negative view of yourself, then you're going to wonder, what's the point in doing these hard things? Because if you believe you're this piece of shit, waste of space, whatever it is you're calling yourself, you're not going to dig deep, and you're not going to persevere. Because as soon as you hit, that day, you know, all it takes is one bad day. One bad day comes along, and you ask yourself, I really don't want to do this today, and I don't want to do it tomorrow, I want to give up. And you could look at yourself in the past and think, well, I always gave up, so that's who I am, I'm going to give up. No, you stop. Have a word with yourself, think, yeah, I gave up in the past because that was who I was at the time, but I'm growing. I'm building mental resilience. So yeah, I might fail again. Of course, we're all going to keep failing. Part of succeeding is failing. Yeah, the road to success is paved with failure. Plenty of it. That's how you learn, how you grow. So just you had a bad day, say, doesn't mean you are this piece of shit that you've identified yourself as. You just had a bad day. Get back on it. So there you have it. So if you're having that bad day, because them bad days are going to come, it's inevitable. There's no such thing as good day every day. It's not. So when you hit that bad day and you haven't forgiven yourself, it's going to come along and you're going to beat yourself up very hard, and you're going to quit. You're going to quit because you don't think you're worth it. You think you're a piece of shit, waste of space, worthless, all these things. You're going to give up. So alright, taking these baby steps, moving forward, but if you haven't forgiven yourself, you're going to give up. Somewhere along the lines, you're going to give up. So, get forgiving yourself. Yeah, once upon a time, you was a little baby. And that baby had no clue, no direction, couldn't speak, couldn't wipe its arse, couldn't feed itself. Yeah? And every parent tries the best. At least I like to think so. Not all do. Some dealt a very shit hand. But there's no manual on raising a child. There's no one size fits all either, for that matter. So every relationship, every person's different. So say you wasn't raised right. Say your parents are imperfect, which every parent in the world is. And somewhere along the lines, you missed out on something that you needed. Emotionally, mentally, whatever. That's brought you to where you are now. Is that your fault? No. Is it your parents' fault? No. Because they were a baby once as well. They didn't know anything. And all they can act on and do is what they've learnt, absorbed, and, where life's taken them. So, do not beat yourself up. Self-compassion. Look yourself in the mirror. As soon as this video's finished, which I'm going to wrap it up because it is dragging on a bit again. As soon as this video's finished, I want you to put your phone down, look in the mirror, and just tell yourself, I forgive you. You didn't know any better. And the times you did, you just needed somebody to support you, because we all need support sometimes, and you just didn't get it then. Yeah, there was that time in your life you didn't get the support that you needed, so maybe you went downhill, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm all for taking accountability, so you need to do that as well. But you do need to forgive yourself. Yeah? So, you know more now than you did. So, now you're in charge. Now you've got the tools now to crack on. And if you keep watching my videos, you're gonna get the tools. We're gonna get there. Talking about life here, so we've got so much to get through. But bear with me, and we'll get there, okay? So, yeah, leave it there. Be the best you, and do it for you. Cheers.